one of my newsletters that I was going to be inviting some Nashville artist friends to collaborate and to sing guest vocals on that album. And I got this email from Sarah and Troy Groves saying, hey, could we invite ourselves into this? And I was like, of course, first of all, yeah, who's going to say no to Sarah because she's amazing. But I honestly was so glad that she just reached out and invited herself and said, could I be part of this? And it was a gift to me and it was a gift to her just because we got that chance to work together. And so you don't know what kind of gift you might be to somebody when you just reach out and say, could I be a part of what you're doing? Could I help in some way? But yes, you're looking at that ship out there and you're going, why aren't you inviting me? And we have to wrestle with that constantly. And we have to realize that it's usually not personal, but it just may not be the ship that we were meant to be on. And so at that moment, you can also just take a second, look out at this beautiful river, this expansive river of life, and know that even though that ship has not invited you on, this is a grand river with lots of room for lots of boats, lots of rafts of all shapes and sizes. There is room for you to get on that river in whatever way you want to get on that river. So it might be that you build your own little boat. It might mean that you get on somebody else's. It might mean, and this is really cool, that you get on your little boat and you get out there and you tie up with a bunch of other small boats and you say, let's have a party out here on the water today. And so you're each doing your own thing, but you're there to support one another and cheer for each other. And the point is to be on the river. The point is never to be on one particular ship. And the people on that ship do not have anything on you. They're doing their thing and you're doing your thing. And in the end, that the measure is not going to be the things that we are measuring ourselves by here. It is so dumb. Like, how many people like your post? If you have a day where a lot of people like what you put out there, that does not make you any better than anybody else. And it doesn't make you better than you yesterday when 3 people liked your post, okay? You're not better or worse than anybody else, and you're not better or worse than yourself yesterday or yourself tomorrow. The point is to keep making good things and adding to the beauty and the goodness of the world and to your community. And to be, if you're on whatever ship you're on, to be a safe place. And you also know that when you're having a good day or a good, you're in a good season where things seem to be like bubbling up and you have a lot going on, you can bet there are people who feel like you're not inviting them. And think from your perspective why that might be. First of all, you don't have the time and bandwidth to invite and include every single person, no matter how much you love them. You don't have that. You can always extend affirmation to people, but one-on-one, you cannot reach out and respond to every single person and say, I'm going to spend time with you and you and you and you and you because you're one person. So keep that in mind when you're feeling like you're left behind. Keep in mind that there's always somebody who could have that perspective towards you and what you're doing at the same moment. Thanks, Susan. Your dinghy would be a very fun one to be on. We would write lots of poems and drink some wine, eat a lot of cheese, I'm sure. Okay, so one other thing that a wise friend to me said to me last night that I loved. She said that she thinks it's important to always have be cultivating something in your life. And this is particularly true, I guess, if you're an artist and you're putting stuff out there and you feel like you're always in one way or another depending on people's response. Not necessarily for your self-esteem, like, oh, if they don't love this song, then I'm devastated, but for your livelihood. Like, you do kind of rely on other people to respond and interact with your work in order to pay your bills, if that's your profession. So she's a professional musician. So she was saying that it really helps her to have something in her life that she's cultivating and working on that is separate from other people, that it does not hinge on how other people respond. And as she put it, and I love that, she said that other people cannot get their grubby little hands on this. And for her, it's gardening. She loves doing her urban gardening, and she's creating amazing, beautiful fruitful space with lovely plants and edible plants, and that's just for her. And so I'm asking myself, what are the things in my life that are really a safe space for me, that don't hinge on how they're perceived to be a success or not success out there in the world, that I'm just able to always derive joy and a sense of satisfaction and accomplishment from doing these particular things. And I'm mulling that over because I hadn't really considered that before. But I think it's connected to all the deeper work that we're all trying to do, where we're trying to say, I need to be a whole person whose happiness is not dependent on other people, any other people. It is good to be dependent and interdependent on, if you have a spouse, and in our friendships, we should be able to count on one another. But at the end of the day, we will always be able to fail one another. So I cannot let my sense of well-being, my sense of being alive and happy, depend on how you treat me today. I can feel disappointed by it, but I don't want to be devastated and curled up in a ball in my bed thinking that I am worthless because you didn't respond to me or to my work in the way I hoped. So I think that's about like detaching from particular desired outcomes, even as we work towards those preferred outcomes, not attaching our well-being to them. So that's, I guess, what I wanted mostly to share with you, is these thoughts that I have borrowed from my friends who are super wise. I hope that resonates with you guys in some way, or maybe something in there is helpful. You have a place on the river, and sometimes you're going to be on the big boat, and sometimes you're going to be on your own little raft, and sometimes you're going to be on a big boat that you built yourself and invited everybody else onto. Either way, the bottom line is that we all belong there, and we have to make sure that we're not attaching ourselves to needing to be on somebody's ship or receive their affirmation of who we are and the work we're making. If you guys have any other thoughts to add, you can do that right now. I'm going to scroll back up and make sure I didn't miss anything. Yes, Karina, builder and corrector with a gigantic heart. I know that's true. Yeah. Stop trying to climb on a ship that's not yours. I'm keeping on with the good work God is allowing through me and sharing it when I'm able. Way to go, Dawn. Whoops. I didn't mean to do that. Anybody else have any thoughts they want to add? Thanks, Karina. We just have to keep talking to ourselves, you guys. We keep having to remind ourselves of what is true. And when you're struggling with something and you start speaking it to other people, it reminds you of what you need to hear yourself. So I have found over the last few years that the best therapy for me is to speak truth to other people and to write music. And I'm kind of basically always projecting whatever's going on in here. I project it onto some other person and I write for that person. And it's a way of me caring for myself at the same time. But let's be people who do keep an eye out for others who are standing on the shore. We can't catch everybody. It's not our job to catch everybody. Sometimes we want to be that person who's like, come over here, come over. Some of you have such great big hearts that you really do want to make sure everybody gets onto your boat. And I think that's great if you have the capacity to really call to everybody on the shore and say, hey, if you can get over here, you're welcome. But if you have ended up sailing on past and somebody wasn't able to get on and you're struggling with guilt over that, know that there are other boats that they are meant to be on. And you can't, you can extend love, but we're not anybody's savior. So appreciate you guys and appreciate how you jump on my little raft here and there, and we get to have these conversations, and how you have supported my music and me personally in all kinds of ways, because you make me feel welcome, and I'm grateful for that. I wanted to let you know that on Friday of this week, I'm going to be, you're welcome, Rebecca. I'm going to be interviewing a very special person and asking him questions I have never asked him, even though I'm very close with him. And this is Rocky Horton, who happens to be married to my little sister, Mandy. Rocky, I posted about a couple times recently because he declared himself Nashville's artist in residence, and he has been working on various amazing visual art installation pieces and collaborative works for our city. And he happens to be one of the smartest and funniest people that I know. So I'm excited to have Rocky Horton on here for an Instagram Live on Friday. So join us. I'll let you know the exact time, but look at this crazy little curl here. Let's separate it. As you know, I love talking to people about their work, and that just got worse. And talking about art and faith and creativity. So I'm really excited about that. Okay, that's all I really had to share for today, but thanks, guys. Now I'm like totally distracted. This happened last time. As soon as I think about hair, then that's all I can think of. Thanks, Karina. Thanks, Rebecca. Thanks, Susan, everybody who joined. And I'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye.